जय बजरंग बली, जय संकट मोचन हनुमान, जय श्री राम. I am Michelson and Morley. I am visiting Banauliwood Film City, and by visiting I am talking about the Michelson Morley experiment. So let's go to the next part of the Michelson Morley experiment. Consider C with the velocity of light through the ether. The beam to moving towards M2 has a velocity c minus v related to the apparatus on the outgoing trip and c plus v on the returning trip. If t2 be the total time taken by this beam to go from p to m2 and back, then t2 equals to l by c minus v plus l by c plus v equals to 2lc by c square minus v square equals to 2l by c open braces 1 by 1 minus v square by c square close braces. This is equation 1. Now the beam 1 moving transversely with respect to the apparatus retains its velocity c throughout. Consider it takes a time t dash to go from p to a strike mirror m1, traveling a distance c into t dash. In the same time, the mirror m1 advances a distance v into t dash. Thus, in the right angle triangle angle p m1 dash, we can show p m1 equals to l, and m1 dash equals to v into t dash, and p m1 dash equals to c into t dash. So using right angle triangle rules, a square of ct dash equals to l square plus a square of vt dash. So solving, we get t dash equals to l by open braces c square plus v square close braces to the power 1 by 2, or equals to l by c into 1 by under root 1 minus v square by c square. Now if t1 be the total time taken by the beam to travel the whole path p m1 dash t dash, then t1 equals to 2 into t dash equals to 2 into l by c into 1 by under root 1 minus v square by c square. This is equation 2. Hence the difference between the times of travel of the two beams. Now from equation 1 and 2 given by delta t equals to t2 minus t1 equals to 2l by c into open bracket 1 by 1 minus v square by c square minus 1 by under root open braces 1 minus v square by c square close braces close bracket equals to 2l by c into open bracket open braces 1 minus v square by c square close braces to the power minus 1 minus open braces 1 minus v square by c square close braces to the power minus 1 by 2 close bracket. Now using binomial expansion and dropping terms higher than the second order, we can get delta t, that is t2 minus t1, equals to 2l by c open bracket open braces 1 plus v square by c square close braces minus 1 or open braces 1 plus 1 by 2 into v square by c square close braces close bracket. So finally we get delta t equals to l into v square by c cube. This path difference delta, thus the path difference delta between the beams corresponding to a time difference delta t equals to t2 minus t1 is given by del equals to c into delta t, or c into open braces t2 minus t1 close braces equals to lv square by c square. So path difference delta is equal to lv square by c square. Now if the interferometer is suddenly brought to rest, v is made 0, then the path difference delta would becomes 0. Then the path difference delta becomes 0. We know that if the path difference between two interfering waves changes by lambda, then there is a shift of one fringe across the crosswire in the field of view. So if capital N is the number of fringes with shift when the interferometer is stopped, then capital N equals to del by lambda equals to L into V square by C square lambda. In the actual experiment, the whole apparatus which was placed on the block of a stone floated in the mercury was rotated through a angle of 90 degrees, and this introduced a path difference of the same amount in the opposite direction. Hence a shift of 2L V square by C square into lambda was expected. To have an observable shift, Michelson and Morley, original Michelson and Morley, increased the effective value of L to the 11 meters by reflecting the light back and forth many times. Now using values L equals to 11 meter or 1100 centimeter, V equals to, that is apparatus velocity, V equals to 3 into 10 to the power 6 centimeter per second, and C, that is velocity of light, equals to 3 into 10 to the power 10 centimeter per second, and the lambda, the value of lambda 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 5 centimeter for visible light. The expected shift is given by 2L into V square by C square lambda, and using these values we get this value about 0.4 of a fringe wave. Michelson and Morley were extremely surprised to see that there was no shift in the fringe when the interferometer was rotated for 90 degrees. That is, this value 0.4 is negligible. They repeated the experiment during various times of day and various regions of the year, but no shift was observed. Troughton and Nobel in 1902 performed an electromagnetic experiment for same purpose, but with no positive result. Thus, the motion of the Earth through the ether could not be experimentally detected by any experiment. Now we can discuss the negative results found by Michelson-Morley experiment and on other experiments. So, three separate explanations were given to the negative results of this Michelson-Morley experiment. So, the first explanation was ether drag hypothesis. The moving Earth completely drags the ether with it, so that there is no relative motion between the two, and hence the question of shift does not arise. But this explanation was not accepted for two reasons. First, it is against the observed aberration of light from a star, and second, Fizeau had experimentally shown that a moving body could drag the light back only partially. Furthermore, this partial dragging of light waves was explained by electromagnetic theory without introducing the ether drag hypothesis. Jai Shri Ram, Bajrang Bali. Second, Fitzgerald-Lorentz contraction hypothesis. Fitzgerald and Lorentz independently put an ad hoc hypothesis that all material bodies moving through the ethers are contracted in the direction of motion by a factor of under root open bracket 1 minus open bracket V square by C square close bracket. It is easily seen that such a contraction in the interferometer arm will equalize the times T1 and T2, and no fringe shift would be expected. So this explanation, being purely ad hoc, could not be accepted. Furthermore, Rayleigh worked out that such a contraction is expected to produce double refraction which was, however, never observed. Now the third explanation. The light from a moving source has a velocity which is the vector sum of its natural velocity and velocity of the source. If this were true, then the light from the source has always the same constant velocity relative to the source and to the interferometer, and the negative result could be explained. This explanation was also rejected because it was in conflict with the Babb theory of light as well as with certain astronomical evidences concerning double stars. Now the revolutionary Einstein's idea. So Einstein in 1905 proposed a new revolutionary idea that the motion through ether is meaningless concept. Only motion relative to a frame of reference has physical significance. The frame of reference may be a road, the Earth's surface, the Sun, the center of our galaxy, but in every case we must specify it. If we are isolated in the universe, there would be no way in which we could determine whether we are in motion or not. That is why it is impossible to perform any experiment for detecting Earth motion through ether. This idea was ultimately developed in the theory of relativity further. So with this topic is ended here by Michelson and Morley.